Merry Christmas, you filthy bastards. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do Vorkath in the easiest way that I know how. If I can do it, anyone can do it, and that's why I'm calling this the Bozo's Guide to Vorkath. Alright, so without further ado, we're here. We're at the Grand Exchange. The first thing we're going to do is gear up. I don't have anything on, so you guys can follow me specifically along. If you have the specific potions I have, great. If not, downgrade them as needed to whatever you have availability to. I'm talking to you Iron Men. As far as mains and everyone else goes, you should be able to buy these off the Grand Exchange if you have a little bit of money. That's why we're here at Vorkath, is honestly to make some money, so spending a little bit on supplies is not too big of a deal. The things that I'm going to be running are going to be a Divine Ranging Potion. You can substitute these up or down, depending on what you need, as a Ranging Potion or up to a Bastion Potion. Bastion Potions are too expensive for me to justify, so I'll just take this, because they're like, they're 3.2k right now instead of 33,000. The next thing I take is an extended super anti-fire. You don't have to have an extended one. You can use a super anti-fire. Honestly, you could use like lesser versions of these. You'll probably just take more damage. I've never tried it with lesser ones. Anti-venom plus, this is to get rid of the poison. He will hit you with I think it's a green fireball. If you don't have poison protection or anti-venom on, it will poison you, and that's to get rid of that status. If you've done Zalra before, you'll be familiar with these. I think Zalra actually drops some of those, if I'm not mistaken. It could be the antidotes as well. I think these. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and... I can't have that there. We're going to go ahead and gear up for the rest of this. The next thing you're going to want to bring is a staff of some sort that can cast Crumble Undead. There are only a certain number of staffs that can do that. I would definitely check the wiki to see which ones can do that. I'm actually going to run the staffs that you can use across the screen real quick. I'll do that for you. Don't worry about looking up the wiki. So there's a Slayer staff. The next thing that's crucial is your rune pouch. You want to bring dust runes, law runes, and chaos runes if available. The dust runes are a mixture of air and earth runes, combo runes otherwise, so that you can use both spells that require those. Law runes are so that you can teleport to your house alongside your dust rune, and then the chaos rune is so that you can use the Crumble Undead spell. I'm going to put this down to the bottom right of my inventory. I don't really need to touch it very often, if at all. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our arrows out. We need to be bringing Ruby Dragon Bolts if possible, and Diamond Dragon Bolts if possible. Downgrade those if you need to, but I'm going to use these. They're just what I've always used. They're not cheap, honestly. They're a little pricey, but doing Vorkath, it pays off. The next thing is 3 prayer potions. I don't know if restores would be better if your prayer's lower. I think restores can actually restore more prayer at a certain prayer level. But for the purposes of what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using these prayer potions. The next thing that we're going to be grabbing out is a bunch of food, but before we do that, we also need to get our character geared up. As you can see, I don't have any gear on aside from these Dragon Bolts. We're going to be running Void Elite. I have an ornamental kit on it. If you're running an ornamental kit on your Void, when you die, it will stay equipped, and it can save you a lot of inventory slots re-getting your gear. So I would recommend that, but it is 6 mil, I think, is how much I spent altogether on those to get them to ornament it. Or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 mil on those, and then the rest was 5 and 6. Okay, so we've got our range gear out for Void. I'm going to bring my Pegasian boots. You can downgrade those to Blessed Hide if necessary. Make sure you get your assembler out as well. If you have an accumulator, use that until you can put a Vorkath head in it to get the assembler. That's probably what a lot of you are going to be doing, so good luck on that. I got mine on 50 exact kills. I wasn't lucky. I didn't get it beforehand. The next thing is probably the most important item you're going to need to use while killing Vorkath, and that's the Salve Amulet EI. This is an enchanted and imbued version of the Salve Amulet. You can get it enchanted from, I believe, the quest, and then you imbue it at the Nightmare Zone using Nightmare Zone points. Bring an Archer's Ring. Archer's Ring is just best in slot for me. It's imbued as well, so I get a +8 range bonus on it. I don't think I've forgotten anything else, but if I have, we'll touch back on it as I check my inventory here real quick. Oh yes, I have. I've forgotten 3 important things. Well, nope, avoid gloves. 2 things. I'm not going to be using max efficiency gear here, as I don't have the funds to buy it. I know I have big bank, but I'm not getting rid of any of the items I currently have to get that. So we'll bring an anti-dragon shield and a dragon crossbow. I've done plenty of kills with these, so they work. If possible, I wouldn't recommend an orbital crossbow, because if you can afford to get the orbital crossbow, I would just recommend getting the Dragonfire Ward. That's going to help you out a ton as well. Honestly, it's cheaper as well. So with that being said, we're gonna go grab our food out. There's a method to this if you want to do it. Like if you're running the same inventory setup I have, there's a method to do this to get your food out really quickly. You can click your shark, your carom, and then 2 sharks, and that'll fill out your inventory with a quick combo as well as 2 sharks on the backside. So we'll just repeat this: 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 1. And I kind of messed it up, but you can see if you do it like right, it'll line everything up correctly. What we're going to do now is we're going to teleport to Vorkath. Now, if you don't have a maxed house with a Lunar Isle portal in it, you can set your house to Relica, use a house tab, or use your home teleport here, and then exit your house's portal in Relica and run to the dock to get here. I would recommend getting your construction up if possible, or if you have the funds for it, because a house is so nice in RuneScape, guys. Like before I ever had one, I didn't know what RuneScape was. So we're going to go ahead and hit the Lunar Isle portal. I refilled at the ornate pool of rejuvenation. It's just habit to do it every time I go in my house to make sure all my stats are restored. Now, if you've done the Vorkath quest and everything, Dragon Slayer 2, you're pretty familiar with these banks. I have it highlighted just for quick click access, and it's the click box on it, so I'll never miss it. These left 2 will send you to Relica. If you talk to any NPC, it'll send you to Relica, so long as you don't have your Seal of Passage on. So we'll go ahead and just bank at this bank here, and he's going to talk to us and say, what the hell are we doing here? Alright, now let's go slap this dragon in the tail. Quickly touching on your quick prayers here. We're going to set those up before we enter Vorkath. If you don't have access to Rigor, which I highly recommend for Vorkath, you could use Eagle's Eye. I don't see why you would be at this point in the game without it. I'm not judging you, but Rigor is what I run. And since we're doing a range setup with a anti-dragon shield and the extended anti-fire potions, we won't need to be using prayer from magic. We'll use prayer from missiles. So set those up, use your quick prayers, hit done. Now that we're here, I'm gonna go over 2 of the special abilities of the bolts that you're using. The reason we're gonna run Ruby Dragon Bolts E is because it has a special passive that can proc. It will sacrifice a portion of your HP to do increased damage, or maybe a max hit. I don't entirely know the specifics of it. I know basically what it does. The next bolts that we're going to be using are Diamond Dragon Bolts E. These bolts are essentially what I call execute bolts. The lower health Vorkath has, the more damage they'll do. So once we get them to about 300 HP, we're going to go ahead and switch to these bolts. Now, before we enter here, there's another thing that's crucial to check that I miss a lot. That's why I'm glad I remembered it just now. Make sure to equip your Slayer staff or whatever staff you've brought along, and make sure to set your quick cast to Crumble Undead, so that when we switch to the Slayer staff, we'll automatically be able to cast Crumble Undead on the zombie spawnling. Alright, with that being said, let's go ahead and get on to the Dragon Slaying. So, we're going to walk up. We're going to go ahead and drink a Divine Ranging Pot, an Anti-Venom, as well as an Extended Super Anti-Fire. Poke Vorkath. Make sure you turn your run off right here. Run is going to be awful if you have it on during the acid phase. Enable your quick prayer. I didn't do it fast enough, so I took a free 30 in damage. You gotta love it. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm going to be counting each of these attack phases. I'm not sure what one he's on now, so I'll start on the next one. That was his 7th. This is our first special phase. This is going to be the zombified spawn. Now that we know what phase we have, we can always predict what our 7th special phase is going to be. So the next special phase that Vorkath is going to do is going to be the Acid Walk. Here he's on his 3rd attack. This will be his 4th attack. This will be his 5th attack. His 6th attack, and on his 7th attack, be prepared to click a tile back after you attack so that you can walk back onto this back row. 98% of the time that I do Vorkath, this back row is pretty much this clear. It's a super wide walk path. All you're really doing here is keeping your model from getting hit by those fireballs. I'll explain more on that if we make it to another acid phase, but for now we're going to go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now a trick to this right here on this ice phase, you can walk back a tile, let it freeze you, kill the zombie spawnling, and then equip your gear back, and then just spam click Vorkath. As soon as you're unfrozen, you're going to be able to hit Vorkath, so you won't be wasting any arrows hitting zeros on that invulnerability phase. If you guys haven't noticed already, that purple attack there that he keeps hitting me with, that disables your prayer, so make sure you re-enable your prayer. I'm not quite sure what this one is. I think that's probably 6, that's 7, so we're going to go back to this, turn our prayer off. Now during the acid walk phase, you're relatively safe to, you're actually extremely safe to do whatever you need to here. So you can eat, like combo eat a shark or slowly eat sharks, depending on what you're needing at that time. I had let my health kind of fall a little bit low, so I just combo ate real fast. All right, he's at 111 health and I still haven't switched bolts, which is a mistake on my part. This kill could be way faster if I had switched it. So I thought I got planked there. I lagged a little bit. If those fireballs he tosses in the air hit you, they will destroy you. Alright, so we're going to walk back a tile, turn our prayer off, sip a pot, click on him, kill the zombie spawnling, and then we're going to spam click Vorkath. So now that we're unlocked, we can walk forward and get a not guaranteed, but better than guaranteed not to hit. Alright, so there's the Vorkath kill. Honestly, barely used any supplies, and this is with an anti-dragon shield and a dragon crossbow. Got a pretty good drop too. Those battle staffs, the dragon bolts, that's over 200k drop right there. And then superior bones and superior. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut up, let you guys watch these next couple of kills through the trip. Pay attention to what I'm doing. Take what I've said into account. Count your phases. From the first attack he does, count 1 up to 6, and then prepare for the 7th. Always step a tile back if you want to use the tips I've mentioned, especially on the acid phase, as you're going to need to be on this back row here to do that. Now, actually, before I go ahead and shut up, I want to show you guys something else. I don't know if many of you know about these Runelite shortcuts or not, but if you hold left shift and right click somewhere, you're going to be able to get a couple of different options here. Typically, if you have the plugin tile markers enabled, which you can enable through your configuration, you can either mark a tile or unmark a tile. I'll go ahead and show you an unmarked tile. As you can see, it marks it and highlights it for me. All you're going to want to do for marking tiles here, if you want to use what I've got set up, is take your agility shortcut highlight, go 2 spaces forward or 2 tiles forward, mark that tile, 2 spaces to the left, mark that, 2 spaces to the right, mark that. Those are going to be quick tiles that you can use essentially to dodge his fireball that falls out of the sky on you. So if you're standing here and the fireball comes up, just click here. That'll be 2 tiles away and you won't take any damage, and vice versa. You can walk here or to here. Now let's go ahead and finish out this trip. I have wasted a bit of time on these potions, so I'll just repot real quick and then we'll go from there. So right there was kind of scary. I had to eat on the same tick that before the tick that the damage hit me. If I hadn't, I'd have got killed, I believe. So eat when necessary. If you must eat during an attack phase, do it. Don't get planked for no reason. It's 100k to get your stuff back, so it's not super cheap. Alright, so we got onyx bolt tips and 2 superior dragon bones and 2 blue dragon hide. That's not bad. So far, we have been here for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and see what the items we've gotten cost. Alright, that's not bad at all. That's actually a really good trip so far. Even if we left now, that's pretty fat. So 412,446 from the few items we got here. I hope that this guide helps you guys. I know it's not as edited or as structured as some other guides may be, but who needs that when this is a bozo's guide to Vorkath? Thanks.